Alright, just a reminder, you can pause at any time or slow down the video if you need to. You don't need any supplies today. We're just going to be talking about equivalent fractions. If you want to have a sheet of paper, that would be fine, but really we're just going to think about what are equivalent fractions. Well, equivalent means equal, and we know that fractions means part of a whole, but I think we need to dive deeper. We could also think of equivalent fractions as fractions that represent the same value, but are divided into different size pieces. So let's think about it with pizza. I ordered a cheese pizza last night. I don't really like pepperoni, and I ate half the pizza. So this morning I have half the pizza left. I have one half of pizza, but I've got a friend coming over and I want to share. So I'm going to cut my one half of a pizza into two pieces. Well, now I have 2/4. Each of us can have 1/4. One half is equivalent to 2/4. But what if I have two friends coming over? Well, I know that one half is equivalent to 2/4, but if I need to share it with two other people, I could split it up into 6. One half is also equal to 3/6. One half equals 3/6. I cut that one half into 3 slices. If I'm having even more people over, there are lots of other equivalent fractions. Each time we divide it up, the pieces are going to get smaller. So one half equals 2/4 or 3/6, or one half is also equivalent to 6/12. If I was having 5 friends come over, we could all have a small snack. Okay, let's keep digging deeper. How do we find equivalent fractions? Well, remember I said that one half is equivalent to 2/4, which is also equivalent to 3/6. And remember that I said in order to be able to share them, I needed to cut them up into smaller slices. So I could take my one half and I could cut it in half again, and I would have 2/4. Or if that wasn't going to work for me, I could cut my one half into 3/6 by cutting twice. But how do we find these mathematically? Well, I'm going to ask you some questions that may seem kind of weird. I know you know the answer to this. We're well above this answer, but bear with me. I promise it will make sense. I'm going to ask you to think about, what does 5 times 1 equal? Think about it in your mind. Maybe even yell it at the screen if it's appropriate. 5 times 1. You know this. Of course. We know that 5 times 1 is 5. What about 100 times 1? Do you know what 100 times 1 is? Yes, 100 times 1 is 100. Anything times 1 is itself. So how does this apply to fractions? Well, what's 1/2 times 1? 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. The same rules apply with fractions. If we multiply by 1, it still equals 1/2. So now I want you to think about something a little different. I want you to think about the value of 2 halves. If you had 2 halves of the pizza, 2 of each half, what's the value? How much? Yes, 1. 2 halves equals 1. We keep coming back to this idea of 1. Well, it's really important to us when we're finding equivalent fractions, because if we take 1/2 and we multiply it by 1, we'll still get 1/2, and we know that 2/2 equals 1. So what we can do is we can multiply 1/2 by 2/2, and we get 2/4. That's how we find equivalent fractions mathematically. 1/2 times 2/2, which remember equals 1, 1/2 times 2/2 is equal to 2/4. 1/2 times 2/2 is 2/4, because 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. We multiply straight across the numerator and the denominator. 1/2 equals 2/4. And we can do something really similar to get to 3/6. So see that 2 over 2 equals 1? Well, so does 3 over 3. I can multiply 1/2 by 3 over 3 and get 3/6. Remember, 3 over 3 is equal to 1, so I'm not changing the value. 1/2 times 3 over 3 equals 3/6. 3/6. Because 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. We multiply straight across. And I have 3/6 of a pizza. Lots to share. So when we're looking for equivalent fractions, we multiply by fractions that have a value of 1. All right, there'll be more notes and practice. Come back later.